creative, mental health advocate, writer-poet, voice-over artist, digital marketer, public speaker. Queen ENUAH is a passionate mental health advocate, writer, and poet dedicated to breaking down stigmas surrounding mental wellness. With a background in advanced Medicare from City and Guilds of London Institute, and experience as a science laboratory technician, Queen brings a unique blend of scientific insight and creative expression to her work. As the founder of Mental Men's Sphere, Queen empowers individuals to prioritize mental well-being through coaching, blogging, and community building. Her writing explores themes of resilience, self-care, and the human experience, aiming to inspire and educate others on their mental health journeys. Queen's creative work includes published poems and articles that reflect her commitment to mental health awareness. As a voice-over artist and public speaker, she uses her voice to amplify important conversations and promote empathy. Through Mental Men's Sphere and her creative endeavors, Queen invites you to join her journey of fostering meaningful connections, promoting mental wellness, and celebrating the beauty of vulnerability. Ladies and gentlemen of the Writers' Conference, please join us as we make welcome an admin of the Creative Writers crew, Queen ENUAH, as she takes the stage.
Thank you very much for that introduction. So we are here with an outstanding coach, who I believe will actually coach us well through this session, Miss Queen. We can't wait to hear from you. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. I'm very much excited to be with each and every one of you today. And I've been praying for this for like a very, very long while. And it's an honor, honestly. When Daniel had reached out to me and had said, Queen, I wanted to take up mental health talk for writers, I was like, okay, no problem, because this is what I do and I have passion for mental health. Just as I'm sure each and every one of you, would want to attain a certain level when it comes to your mental health. I'm very, very much delighted to be here. But before I begin, I'm sure many of us have heard the term mental health. I'm sure many of us have heard what mental health is all about. Probably you've heard it on the radio, news, social media, as you are scrolling through. You have seen so many issues surrounding mental health. And then you ask yourself, what is this mental health that people keep on talking about? What is it that is so special about this mental health that it has become like a household topic that everybody talks about mental health? Especially here in Nigeria, you always hear people say, oh, my mental health is at stake. Oh, I have to leave this, for my peace of mind. No, these kind of terms are very common, are very rampant. So today we are going to be diving into what mental health really, really means for writers. And without a doubt, you can agree with me. If you are not mentally focused as a writer, there is no way you can bring out creative side. There is no way you can bring out, that creativity, the way your body, mind, and your soul is not united. It is literally impossible. So today we are going to look at what is mental health. I'm sure we might have heard this term one or two times or a couple of times, scrolling through our social media handles or hearing people talk about it. So today we're going to be looking at the real definition of mental health. Now, mental health encompasses the emotional, psychological, and social being of an individual. So when we are looking at the emotional well-being of the individual, looking at the psychological well-being of an individual, and then we are looking at the social well-being. It's the ability for you to have communication, to live in a very peaceful environment with your neighbor is also part of mental health. For you to be emotionally sound, psychologically sound is also part of mental health. Now, it influences our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. I'm sure many times you've seen people, go crazy, or you've seen people act in a very particular manner and be like, are you sure you're okay? Are you sure you're normal? Yes, we tend to ask this type of question when we see people acting in a weird manner, when we see people acting, in a a particular way they are not supposed to, and you're not like, are you sure you are okay? Yes, that is part of mental. It influences how we think, it influences our emotion, and equally influence our behavior. We see somebody that has an erratic behavior, a behavior that is very, very always full of rage. You ask yourself, why is this person behaving this well? Of course, we have to tame it all down to the person's mental condition. When we equally talk about mental health, we are equally looking at how we are able to handle stress and interact with others. Like I stated earlier, how you interact with your neighbors, how you interact with your friends, how you interact with people that matter to you is equally part of mental health. And how do you handle stress, especially burnout? As a writer, many times we always say, oh, burnout, that is stress. How do you cope with stress? How do you cope when things, when things seem so overwhelming, when your mind, your soul, everything within you doesn't just, it's not, you feel so tired, you feel so drained, you can't even do the usual activities you would always love to do. Everything just seems so boring to you. Everything there is no life in you. This is when we are talking about mental health and how it affects us as individuals. Please, next slide. Now we are going to be talking about mental health awareness for writers. Remember, we are all writers and we want to enhance our creative minds. We want to enhance our creative part of it. So the first thing as a writer is for you to be aware that mental health is real. Anybody who is suffering from any mental illness or any mental condition, and even if you are not suffering from any mental health conditions, the first thing you have to do is awareness. You have to know that this condition is real. When we hear people talk about anxiety, we hear people talk about depression, we hear people talk about bipolar disorder, we hear people talk about schizophrenia. All of these are all mental health conditions. All of these are all mental health illnesses. It is one thing for you to actually know about it, and it's another thing for you not to even know at all. But for the fact that you've heard of these mental health conditions, I will talk about the most two prevalent mental health conditions globally we have, which is anxiety and depression. These are the two prevalent mental health conditions we have. So I'm sure we might have heard about it, but do you actually know what it is? Do you actually know what it means? Now, awareness means paying attention to how you feel, recognizing when something is off, and being able to seek support. Awareness. So for a person who is suffering from burnout, for a person who is suffering from anxiety, who is suffering from depression, as a writer, first of all, you need to pay attention to how you feel. If you wanted picking up, if you're writing a story, and then you just pick up your pen, or probably you're writing on a system or your notepad, and you wanted scribbling down something, and there is this feeling you get within you, like nothing is coming forth, you feel so drained out. You need to pay attention to these details. They matter a lot. Remember, when you want to write as a writer, there is this bubble inside of you, that there's this idea you just come up with, and there's this excitement that comes with it, and you can't wait immediately. You just want to scribble it down, you just want to put it on paper. I just want to write it down, because you don't want that particular idea to leave you. You don't want that particular idea to actually go away. You don't want that particular idea to actually miss out. You want to jot it down immediately. But when you start to feel that something is off, when you start to feel that something is not just going well, you don't feel that bubble inside you, don't feel that excitement inside you, the ideas are no longer coming, the ideas, nothing is literally working, then you need to know that definitely something is wrong. So you need to recognize these signs, those little signs that you feel they don't matter, they actually matter. As a writer, you need to recognize it, and equally need to recognize the fact that you need support. And when you find out that you are experiencing these issues, when you find out that you are experiencing these issues, then you need to actually know at that very particular point that you need support. You need a kind of support system. You need people who trust you, somebody whom you can talk to, somebody whom you can reach out to at that very particular moment and share your stress and share what exactly is really happening with you. So awareness is very, very important. Awareness is very, very vital. We need to keep that at the back of our mind. And when you are aware that you have certain feelings within you, when you know that, okay, you have certain emotions that they just spring up from nowhere, probably due to school stress. I know most of us writers, we are students, most of us we are working, and then you are looking at how to balance your work and your life, work life balance, and then you're trying to find a way to actually create this balance, but this balance is not actually coming forth, it's not actually working. That is where you know that, okay, I have reached that awareness point. I've actually come to that awareness that yes, something is wrong, that something is going. Then papers, you've crumbled them and put them inside the waste bin because they are not sure of what you're writing. Why? That brings what? That brings depression. That brings in depression, and it's not good as writers. So that's one of the unique challenges that comes with writing. So we're looking at isolation, we're looking at uncertainty, we are equally looking at financial pressure. For example, if you want to put your book, your novel, your poems out there, and a certain finances is needed for it, that can equally put you under financial pressure. It can put you under undue stress. Why? Because you are looking for money on how to publish your book, or you're looking for money on how to promote your book. And you would agree with me that promotion of books needs money. You need money to promote your book if you are not using the organic method of actually promoting your books. All of this can put you into depression. You'll be running up and down, asking your friends, asking colleagues, asking family, asking relatives, please, I need money, I want to publish my books. Please, I need money, I want to publish my books. All of this is all on what? On our mental health as writers. I hope I'm speaking with somebody. I hope I'm not speaking to myself. Are you hearing me? So they told me they were going to spread it down. Are you with me? So I just gave them money and I traveled.
Yeah, we-
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. Just wanted to find out. The other on unique challenges for writers is what? Rejection. Probably you have a book to write and you want to submit. You're a freelance writer and you have several gigs you want to apply for writing positions in several brands or several companies, and you get rejected. In maybe you submitted the first gig, submitted the second gig, submitted the third gig, and you got rejected. All of this can put a toll on your emotional and mental well-being. You will feel like you are not good enough. Self-doubt is going to creep in. You will feel like, am I not writing enough? What am I not doing enough? For example, now I'm on a dream platform. If we have novelists here on the platform, we have a novel writing platform called Dream. Now there are certain times some writers will come or some authors will come and say, oh, my book got rejected for so contract. What didn't I do the right way? What things didn't I put in place and all of that? So all of this can have a toll on our emotional well-being. It is very important. It is very important. That's why I say find a community of writers so that you gain encouragement. Rejection is not the end of the road. Even if you get rejected, or even if you feel that your book is not going to be accepted, always know that there is a particular audience for your book. Every book has audience. You will not just wake up one morning and not have an audience to whom you're writing to. So always know that, okay, if this audience is not for you, then it's definitely not for you. So whatever rejection you have as a writer, it shouldn't put a toll on you. But at some point, for us who are so emotionally unstable, we feel, oh my god, my world has come crumbling down, especially if it is a writing project that you have put your whole heart, your whole mind, your whole body into it. Of course there will be pressure, and then we are now looking at deadlines, creative blocks, and self-doubt. All of these are unique challenges that writers face when it comes to their mental health. If you have a deadline to meet, let's say you were given 3 months and then the 3 months is drawing near, and then you feel like you've not even done enough, these are unique challenges. This can put a toll on your mental health. You are going to feel anxious at that moment. You have anxiety. You are trying to meet up deadlines, and you may end up doing what? Making mistakes. Number 2 is creative blocks. Many of us writers face this. I'll always use myself as an example. I started writing last year, but from January this year, I skipped writing. I have not written anything. Why? Because of what? Part of the issues was creative blocks, and part of the issues was related to what? to my mental well-being, because I felt like I wasn't ready enough to actually put myself out there. I needed to build myself more. So sometimes it's good to take a break, sometimes to take the back seat, sometimes, as writers, it's good to just adjust yourself back. Okay, you don't feel okay writing, you're having creative block, ideas are not just coming any longer like they used to, everything around you feels blur. It's good to take a step back as a writer. And sometimes self-doubt comes. You're asking yourself, am I good enough, to do this? Am I good enough to write? Are people going to accept my writing? All of these are unique challenges that affect our mental health. At the end of the day, what happens? We face anxiety, we face depression, we face bipolar disorder, extreme anger, and all of these things. All of this puts a toll on our mental health. The next topic we are going to be looking at is managing a writing career and mental illness. Managing a writing career and mental illness. You all agree with me that all of us do not want to be just a backyard writer. We all want to be writers, big writers like the likes of ENUAH Achebe. We all want to write big writings, So all of us want to build a career out of our writing. So how do you manage a writing career while having mental illness? I can say for a fact that many writers come down with depression, come down with anxiety, come down with the bipolar disorder. So many writers have so many mental health conditions. So how do you manage a writing career and mental health illness? You all agree with me that mental illness is not easily managed. It's not as easily managed as we manage physical sickness. We know physical sickness, we have drugs for it to ease the pain. But when it comes to mental wellness, of course there are medications for certain mental health conditions. There are medications that we take when it comes to certain mental health conditions, but still it is actually very hard. It's actually very difficult for us to manage a mental health condition. So one of it is working with mental health conditions like anxiety, depression, or bipolar disorder. It can be overwhelming. Trust me. One point you are anxious, the other point you are depressed, and then the other point you are now blowing up in anger. All of these are points we need to take note of. Our mental health conditions that mostly affect writers: anxiety, depression, and bipolar disorder. Please take note of it. It may not happen to you today. It may happen to you tomorrow. It may happen to you in the future. When it comes the time that you feel depressed, you can't write. Even to pick up a pen and write is a problem. Or if you're making use of a notepad or a laptop, writing becomes a very big issue. It can be overwhelming. So how do you manage it? First of all, one thing I always tell people when it comes to mental health is acceptance. That is when you see a mad person on the street, you go and tell a mad person you are mad. A mad person will tell you that he's not mad. That's what a mad person will tell you. Tell you that he's not mad. Meanwhile, you know that he's mad. Now, what is the first thing to do? When you is to accept the fact that you have a mental health condition. Accept the fact it's your whole child that yes, I have anxiety disorder. That yes, I have depression. That yes, I have bipolar disorder. Accept it with your full chest. Own it. Know it, become aware of it. That's how, first of all, I talked about awareness. So you need to be aware of the fact that you have a mental health condition, and then recognize the fact. Secondly, recognize the fact that you need support. Please, like I said, find a community of like writers who are in your niche. You need support as a writer, so that when it comes to times like this, when you are feeling anxious, depressed, or you have bipolar disorder, extreme anger issues, you have community of people who can stand by you, who can be supportive of you, whether it's professional therapy. Now, all these are treatment options that are being given to you as a writer. You can go for a professional therapy, go for counseling sessions, locate your nearest psychologist. Even if it means you hiring one, please do. It is very important if you want to build a writing career. Many times I have read several books, and when I come to read their acknowledgements, I'll always hear certain authors acknowledging these people. Okay, even though when some days are tough, some days I can't keep up, I have so persons who believed in me, who were pushing me ahead to become a better writer. I have seen this, and I'm so many of us have encountered it in different books we are reading. When we reach the part of acknowledgement, we see people acknowledging so persons for pushing them, for encouraging them to write the book to a conclusion. So always do find a supportive community. Number 3, medications. Of course, mental health conditions are often accompanied with medications if need be. Like I said, if need be. There are some medical health conditions, maybe if you have a mild one, you might not need medication. But if need be, that you have extreme mental health conditions that are major, and extreme, then you will need medication. So you need to take your medications on time as a writer. The third one, peer group. So like I said, find people of like minds, find a community, find people who believe in you, or have open conversations with people you trust. If probably you have been down as a writer, you have the creative side is not there, you don't feel motivated to write, please have an open and honest conversation with people that you trust, with people that relate to you, people that understand you, people that can put their self in your position, people that have sympathy and empathy. Have open conversations with them, with trusted people, not people whom you don't trust. Mental health conditions is a very delicate topic, so always have those conversations with people whom you can trust. Another one is what? Flexible writing routine. I'm sure many of us as writers, we want to grow, right? So many of us have a writing routine. We say, okay, we are going to write Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or okay, we are just going to be writing on weekends, or maybe we're just going to be writing on what? Weekdays. Please have a flexible writing what? Routine. While you are having a flexible writing routine, have community what? Connection. This can help you break away from what? Isolation. Isolation is dangerous to our mental well-being. Has writers. Please and please don't isolate yourself. If you isolate yourself, you won't even grow as a writer. Please do isolate yourself, because you need to have conversations with other writers in your niche. Hear from their side, their challenges. How do they grow? What do they do for them to reach the point they are? What are their struggles? How are they coping with it? So please find what? Community connections, because you can break away from isolation. The thing that can kill you as a writer, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, is what? Isolation. Please do not isolate yourself. And then writing itself is therapeutic. Of course, you would agree with me. Sometimes when we are feeling down, sometimes when we don't, we are moody, we want to clear, some certain thoughts out of our chest, we want to clear some certain, things out of our chest, we write. Sometimes that's what even triggers better writing. So writing is what? Is therapeutic. It is equally good for what? Our mental health. But also, although writing is therapeutic, please know when to rest. Like I said, it's good you take off time. Like me, I wrote the entire of last year. Right from January to this very particular point, I have not written, I have not uploaded my blogs and my social media handles. Why? Because I felt as a writer I needed rest. Because at that moment, my mental health conditioning was not okay for me to write. I did what? I took a step back, and now I'm resting. And while you are resting, don't just relax. Don't just go there and relax. Please work on yourself. Like I said, writing is therapeutic. You can equally write in your spare time. You don't have to write to showcase it to the entire world. You don't have to write to showcase it on your WhatsApp status or on your Facebook wall. You can write. You can have a personal journal, or you can have your system with you, your personal diary, when you write. So like I said, writing is therapy. So you don't need to write to the entire world when you are taking a rest. You can write to yourself. You can write probably about the little mundane things that happen during the day, or the little exciting things that excited you during the day. Now, the next topic we are going to be looking at are benefits of caring for your mental health as a writer. You would agree with me that it is very good that you care for your physical health. See, your physical health is just as important as your mental health. So it is important that you care for your mental health as a writer. It is very important, because writing is strenuous. Emotionally, psychologically, it is strenuous. It is extremely strenuous, because at that point you are bringing everything. You are not just bringing your physical five senses, you are bringing your emotional five senses into writing. So it is extremely emotional strenuous. So you need to take care of your mental health as a writer. How do you do that? What? Improve focus. What are the benefits of caring for your mental health? One of it is improve focus and consistency. So when I come right now, I am more focused. I'm more focused because I did what? I took a break. I took the back seat. So when you care for your mental health as a writer, what happens? You are going to have improved focus and consistency. You will find out that you'll be more focused on what you're writing, and then you're going to be consistent in what you're writing, especially if you have a deadline to meet. Number two, you're going to have a longer and more sustainable career. So if you care for yourself as a writer, you care for your mental well-being as a writer, you are going to have a sustainable career. There are many people that their writing is a career for them. They have written books upon books upon books. How do they do that? They take care of their mental health. Sometimes people go out to nature. Sometimes people go on trips out of their environment, out of their neighborhood. All of these they are building their emotional resilience. They are building up their emotional capacity as a writer. Number three, builds resilience and what and confidence. Now if you are taking care of emotional well-being as a writer, you will build up what your confidence. You'll be able to stand proudly and talk to people and have conversations with people. You can write boldly and proudly because what you are taking care of what your mental health. There won't be what mistakes. You have improved focus. There won't be mistakes in your writing. If you are not focused, trust me, you are going to be writing jargons. You write what people do not understand. You write what people do not understand. You will be writing jargons. So you need to do what to build resilience and what and confidence, and then it leads to a more sustainable and fulfilling life. So if you are trying to build up a writing career as a writer, please know that you need to care for your mental health because it is very important. Because with that, you're going to have a more sustainable and a more fulfilling life, and not just that, of course, a more fulfilling career. Now, before I end, I want to leave you with these two words is your writing is your most powerful tool. So whatever you are writing, it is your most powerful tool. So you have to do what to protect it. Your mind also is your most powerful tool. You have to protect it without thinking. Like I said, when I started, I said mental health does what affects our thoughts, emotions, and our behaviors. So your mind is your most powerful tool because if you cannot think, there is no how you will write. If you are not in the right state of being, there is no how you will write. So your mind is your most powerful writing. Please protect it because if you do not protect it, you cannot pour from an empty you can't pour anything out from an empty cup. If a cup is empty, you cannot pour out of it. You can't give out. So definitely you need to look inwardly within you and see better ways on how you can take care of your mental health. Protect your mind always. Always look for activities that promote your mind. Go out to nature. If you like going, stroll out in the evening. Don't coop yourself up in your room. Oh, I'm writing, I have a deadline to meet. No. Go out, meet with people, have conversations with people. Conversations with people can equally form part of your writing. Your experiences can form part of your writing. To put yourself in and say, oh my God, I'm so out of ideas, I don't know what to write again. Please go out, free your mind, free yourself. Just go out, look at nature, converse with people, cleanse your mind out because it is your most powerful tool, because that's what you're going to use to write. Because you cannot pop my empty cup. If you have a creative block at that very particular moment, there is no how that you can give out there is no how you can give out what you don't have. So at this very point in time, I'll be bringing a very big close to my lectures, and I hope we have learned better ways on how we can take care of our mental health as writers, and we can see how we can navigate this, our mental well-being. Because if you are not stable, there's no how you can write. So remember, your mind is your most powerful tool. Please protect it. And also, you cannot pour from an empty cup. So whenever you are feeling stuffed up, please take walks, go on adventures, speak with people, and always remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Miss, for that very this. My network is. Hello.
Please, are there any questions? I would love to entertain your questions if you have any, or you have any clarifications.
Okay, yeah, you guys heard her right. If you have any question, please, would love to entertain them. Miss Queen is poised to respond to them. question.
Can I ask a question?
Okay, yeah, go ahead, please.
All right. So, okay, first off, I really enjoyed tonight's session and it was really, really amazing. It was worth the time. So, my question is this. Now, for a writer um who is also a freelancer, for example, you're writing, just like you mentioned, you're writing for different companies, you're into ghostwriting and the rest, and you're also looking at taking care of your mental health. Now, imagine a situation where you have a whole lot of things to do. You have a whole lot of deadlines to cover up, and then you just have little time. How do you cope? Let's say for a full week or even 2 weeks, every single day of the week would be extremely occupied for you, and then there's nothing you can do about it because those things are like those are your major priorities, and you just can't, because you're working with people that expect results. You just can't go up and tell them that, okay, I'm taking a break because I just want to go out, and then these people just want results. So how do you cope in such situations? Okay, thank you for that amazing question. Now, as a freelancer and as a writer, first of all, what you need to know as a writer is you need to set goals for yourself. You need to set goals for yourself. And secondly, as a freelancer, do not take up jobs which you know you will not be able to complete. That's one thing I've learned as a freelancer, as somebody who writes, and even as a social media manager, because I'm equally a social media manager. Now, don't take up jobs you know you will not be able to complete to the very end. Because if for example, if you are working for a foreign company, if there is one thing foreign companies like and admire a lot is what? Time and what? Commitment and what? Communication. Those are the three things they don't take lightly. Time, commitment, and what? Communication. They always want you to communicate at every point. So if you know that within yourself that you can't actually achieve that goal at that particular time, you can actually go back and negotiate with the brand, negotiate with the company and say, okay, I can't reach your deadline. Can you please extend or give me 1 more week or 2 more weeks for me to be able to do what? To meet up the deadline you have given. Number 2, like I said, do not take up tasks or writing gigs when you know you do not have the time to. It is going to choke you. You are just human. You are not a machine. Even sometimes machine break down. Another thing is you need to set goals for yourself. As a writer, how many writing gigs do you know you can do at the same time? You know your schedule. You know how busy you can get. You know how tough it is. Probably juggling writing, juggling work, and then juggling your writing, yes, juggling work and then juggling life at the same time. So many things are choked up. So many things are packed up. You need to set goals for yourself. How many writing gigs can I take at this very particular point in my life that I have? That I have so many things that needs my attention. Please, like they always say, don't buy that. Take jobs that you know you can do. Because if you take jobs, if the company come because they are so bent on getting money, oh, I need money, and then the company comes reach out to you and then okay, I can do it. Okay, I can do it. What happened? The jobs keep piling up, and what happens? It affects your emotional well-being because you become anxious. You be on your toes every second because you can't meet up those deadlines. You know yourself, know within your heart of heart that you can't take up those jobs. So it is very, very important and vital that you take jobs you can be able to handle and you can meet the deadlines. If you know you can't meet up the deadlines, reach out to the brands, reach out to the companies. Okay, give me 1 week extra. I'm sure they won't deny you that. Give me 2 weeks extra. Let me be able to do what? To do what? To meet up the deadline or the extra time you have given to me. And set goals for yourself. It is important as writers that we should set goals. Okay, like I said, have a routine. Okay, so and so time, let me allocate it to writing for this brand. So and so time, let me allocate it to writing for this brand. You cannot be so busy 24 hours of the clock a day. Of course, you need time to rest. You need time to do what? To relax your brain. You need time to be emotionally stable, psychologically stable. Your emotions have to be intact. Your feelings have to be intact. Your thoughts self have to be intact as a writer. So if you know that you cannot occupy you can't occupy 5 or more jobs, please do not take on more jobs. Set goals for yourself. And always remember that consistency is key. So that is what to do as a writer. Or if you feel that the work is too overwhelming, reach out to the companies and tell them straight up, okay, sorry, I won't be able to continue this project because I have other things, piling up and I need to attend to them. I'm sure they would understand. You are not Superman. You can't do everything at once. Just because you are looking for money, do what you can and leave the rest. Why? Because you need to rest. Thank you very much.